All right, what's going on, guys? I'm Bear Gidio. I'm sitting here with three of the most iconic athletes the Jackson House has. We are here at the Jackson House in Newport Beach, and we are filming a very special episode of the podcast. We have P-Rod, an iconic skater, a legend in LA, and a legend of the skate game. We have McClung, one of the best dunkers, one of the best players the NBA has seen in the last few years, especially with everything he's gone through and everything he's doing. Awesome to have him back. He was one of our first athletes, and he was one of the first guys to come in here and believe in the brand at a time where his stock was at an all-time high. So I appreciate you being with us, and I appreciate you crushing continuously. It's good to have you back on the West Coast, the best coast. And we're here with Luke Rockhold, the one and only, a male model turned fighter, back to male model, now back to karate combat, victorious champion. And he just came back from Dubai after an amazing fight against Joe Schilling. One thing I want to start off with is that one thing we pride ourselves on here at the brand is having this diversity of culture, this dynamic between so many different athletes, right? Like Mac, you've been here from the beginning. You've seen all the different skaters and surfers and moto, and then you have fighters come in and out of here, you know, and it's only getting bigger and better. But the cool part is the dynamic between each other and the dynamic between the team. It's constantly like new relationships, new style, new chains. So it's like the evolution of life. It's meeting new people, and it's, you know, continuously evolving your style, like you're continuously evolving your mindset. So one thing I thought would be cool and why we wanted to host this very special podcast and have all you guys here is that we can kind of learn a little bit about each other, about each other's struggles, but not just the good and the bad, but also what it takes to be so dominant in your sport. So like I wanted to kick it off with Matt, obviously, you know, NBA G League MVP, 2023 and 2024 NBA Slam Dunk Contest winner, 2023, 2024 NBA G League leading scorer. I mean, bro, you're putting up phenomenal stats.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah, no, it's been an interesting process, like just to fill you guys in with kind of my story a little bit. So I've kind of been mostly in the minor leagues. I've had a little time in the NBA and had some good games here. And obviously the dunk contest, winning that this year and last year kind of made some people familiar with me and my story. But yeah, no, it's just an ongoing grind. And, you know, when I get my chance, I'm definitely going to make the most of it.
Yeah.
And one thing, you know, Paul, when we were talking about Mac is like understanding the journey, like the ups and downs, right? You started with Nike, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
And this year you're dropping a new P-Rod shoe?
Beginning of next year, I'm dropping my first shoe again for the 20-year anniversary of my first shoe.
Wow.
20 years. 20 years. Crazy.
That's a long time.
Still in the game.
Still in the game.
Yeah, so we're re-releasing my first shoe. So I'm really excited about that. It seems like people have been asking about it for a little while, and it just felt like the right time to celebrate on the 20th anniversary. So we're still in the game. We're still here, so might as well.
When was the last shoe released?
That was 2021. That was the Paul.
A few years ago. Yeah, we have a few of those.
Yeah.
I bought one the day you came to shoot a campaign. I gave it to David in over here at Jackson. He was freaking out about it.
You're a very generous guy.
He wanted him. He was freaking out. People line up around the block. Every time this guy comes, we went to a LA convention center. I had 1,000 people chasing him around the city. I thought I was a security guard. And then Luke, to kind of give an update, you're fighting again, right?
I want to do this jiu-jitsu tournament, so I'm gonna compete with the 16 of the best guys. It's kind of to give relevancy to jiu-jitsu because the ADCC, which was like the Olympics for grappling, they've kind of watered it down so much. They're trying to like jack the money from the guys. So this is like it's almost like a strike. Mm-hmm. And they're putting $1 million out for the top dogs and paying us all to get in this thing. So it's like 16 men invite only tournament, and my boy Craig Jones is putting it together, and he's making waves. You know, you got to shake up the game sometimes, and so I'm happy to be a part of it. Compete
and what
make $1 million, then I'll get back to maybe $5
there you go. Yeah.
But it's $1 million to compete in the Craig Jones Invitational.
They're paying us like $10,001. I'll just jump in, but it's more about like it's like the prestige of just being into it and competing. It's kind of groundbreaking space and event, so it's cool to be able to do it. And the fucked up part is there's no second place. It's gonna be it's first or nothing. We're all getting our entry fees, but that final match, you make it to that final match, it's $1 million or nothing.
Wow.
There's two guys you can break my arm, rip my leg, like it's gonna get nasty.
Oh boy.
Is that the most you can win in an MMA or in a combat sport?
No.
Like as a grand prize. Not make.
I mean, in any form of grappling, there's nothing. There's never ever been $1 million on the line. So this is big for its space. Fighting, of course, people are making millions.
What's the most you ever won in a skate competition?
Skate competitions don't have big money, but I was able
But
to
shoe
win.
sponsors do.
I was
Hey, and both of you guys, fuck you.
Hey, wait, real quick, who are you with for shoes?
I'm with Puma.
You're with Puma.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Back in the day when Rob Dyrdek took over everything, he wanted to make the biggest prize ever, and it was for the Maloof Money Cup.
Oh yeah.
In 2008, that was $100,000. I won that one.
Oh, with the chalice, you had the cup.
Yeah. I had the
remember
big
that.
pimp cup. But now, then shortly after that, it was Street League, and if you won the Street League Super Crown, I think that was $200,000. But then to win just a normal Street League was $150,000. But now it's back down to like I think $30,000, $20,000.
What they put up for X Games?
I think it's like 25.
Damn.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think it's a lot. It's just hard. I don't know. I don't know the dynamics and the economics behind it and why. But I'm glad I was in the golden era. Like,
Yeah.
What is it like? Even for basketball, like basketball, you don't win any money, right? When you guys win a championship, or do you?
Oh yeah, you definitely do with like playoff bonuses and like every level you go, the more money you get. Obviously, and then players have their own contracts, like where if they make it to the finals or if they make it to the first round of the playoffs, second round, like in their own contracts, they'll have bonuses as well.
But does the team like pay all the players every time you guys win, like a playoff or a finals or a championship?
I think that comes from the NBA. So to be like NBA bonuses.
No way.
Yeah, and then I think for the like I was saying, individual players, like they'll have in their individual contract, like if we make it to the the East Conference Finals, the West Conference, or they'll get a payday as well.
Do they pay you to be in the slam dunk contest?
So you get paid off of if you win, you get 100,000, but if you really get paid off the endorsement soon as if you decide to do it. So it's like there's only 4 guys in it, so a lot of the big brands will like push a lot of things, a lot of commercials, a lot of things over that weekend, All-Star weekend, and that's where the guys will make most of their money.
Yeah, that's crazy because I'm assuming that during the All-Star weekend, the most like iconic event is the slam dunk contest.
It's my favorite personally. Yeah, that's always why I love
it's the
watching.
most talked about though.
Yeah.
Like as a guy on the outside, it seems like that's the one I mostly hear about.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No one cares about the 3-point shoot.
And,
Hey,
It's a little
they
crazy.
care about the baby faces, the white boy assassin coming in and shaking up the whole game. It's like, it's something that you've done. It's special. Obviously, you got style and you bring it to the table, and then they bring you back in to do it. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean,
how
thank
you
you,
can
man.
spin it from here.
I just want to say
Appreciate it.
I'm jealous. You jump so damn high. You'd be an amazing skateboarder. I wish.
man. I didn't even
I
think
wish
about
I
that.
could jump like that. That'd be cool.
What do you mean? You jump like 50 stairs at a time?
No, I jump down. He jumps up.
Oh yeah, that is.
Imagine the pop he could have.
Yeah, that's
He
what I'm
really tried
saying.
to just
Hey, pull him up.
Like
Pull
I
up Mac
wish
jumping.
I had hops like that. That would be very helpful in my world.
Wait, Mac, break this down for us because P-Rod's right. You actually go up, down. Hey, that's a great point. I didn't even know.
No.
You're a mathematical genius right now.
I know.
I didn't even think
I
about
use
that.
gravity. He defies gravity. Like,
This guy's Galileo. Listen, Mac, explain to us, like, how did you even go viral? Like, how did this start where you became like the most viewed slam dunk person before you even won the slam dunk? Oh my God, that's incredible.
yeah, that's insane.
Like, start me from the break so I actually know the truth.
Yeah, so I was obsessed with dunking as a little kid, like just being obsessed with it, and I just kept going. And my dad was into plyometrics, which helped me really jump really well. And I started doing these things and these dunks that like I hadn't seen a guy like a 6-foot white guy do before. I was like, like this should go viral, blah, 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 and it didn't for a really long time. But I just kept going, and people started taking videos of me, and then all of a sudden it just randomly went up.
But were you in high school when you first went viral, like TikTok or MySpace, Facebook? What was it?
What's the dunk that put you on the map?
There was a pickup game that really put me on the map. It was a pickup game in my hometown, and like some kid on the side was like videotaping, and I did a spin. I don't know if we can find it or not, but I did a spin and then dunked on 2 people, and that's when like everybody started kind of
Mac
watching.
McClung
it.
pickup.
Honestly, I grew up playing basketball and appreciating it. There's nothing like a good pickup game. Just somebody just jumping out their shoes, throwing down.
that's rare that you see a dunk in an average pickup game.
Didn't your dad play in the NBA?
My dad played 2 summer leagues with the Warriors.
Wow.
Played in
Wow.
Europe professionally
tall
for
was he?
a few years. 6'8".
Wow. Jesus.
Wow.
He's a big boy. He used to
Dang.
drink coffee and smoke weed because I wanted to skate. I was like, I don't want to be that big. Can't surf, can't skate, can't do other things. I was like,
Man.
Pretty incredible moment to hear on the JAXXON podcast. One, I definitely wanted to give a salute to Jerry West, who recently passed away. He sat on
Yeah.
this podcast with me and Rampage and Luke.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, he sat on here and he was on here about 2 to 3 weeks before he passed away. I would say a month before he passed
man.
away. And he was talking about how he loved the sport of basketball more than anything. And you could see it and feel it, you know?
Yeah.
So is this the slam dunk contest that made you go, oh no, it was a high school game?
No, it was like in a pickup game. I don't know where it was at. I think like Sports Center posted it, and then a bunch
Yeah,
of people.
that's when I DM'd you.
Yeah, I think you might have saw it.
I DM'd him right away. I go, bro, I know you're going to go to the league one day. Can I get behind you now? And he hit me back, and he's been supporting me ever since. Damn, bro, you be cussing at people like that during the game?
Yeah,
What are you-
yeah.
hey, what are you
he was
telling him?
talking some shit
Hey,
right
what are you
there.
saying?
I don't even know. I don't
Hey,
even.
Luke,
He
you
said
yell at people?
something.
You yell at people when you fight them?
dude, how every once in a while happens. What is this? Is this high school?
Yeah, this is like junior, sophomore year, I think.
And you're like, what? You're not even 6 foot at this point.
Yeah, I'm like 6 foot barely. Oh, this is my senior year right here.
That's in high school?
Yeah, we had a really good
Jesus.
environment. It was really fun to play in.
Did you play any current NBA players while you were in high school? Were there anybody on your team or in your league or division?
No, I was from a real small town area, so it was really just the people in my area. It wasn't really many people that were playing Division One.
Yeah.
Just mad dogging everybody
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
every
every
time.
time, yeah.
You're so nice.
I know. Hey, as we watch this, Mac,
Wow.
a lot of people in our JAXXON podcast Discord, they were very excited. We asked them questions. We said you were coming on. Keep those videos going, Vinny, too, while we find it. They wanted to know, what did it feel like, you know, with the internet saying that you revived the dunk contest following the likes of guys like Vince Carter and Dwight Howard and these legends who have, you know, put on a show for us?
Yeah, it was hard to believe, especially like right after it happened. Like, you know, it felt like it went well, and then I didn't know people enjoyed it that much. So, I mean, dude, it was like almost, I really couldn't accept it or really feel like I deserved. I feel like the dunk contest is so special itself. So all I was doing was just trying to put the best performance I could on. But how people view it, either way, I was just grateful to be in it, to be honest with you.
Do you remember any dunk contests growing up?
I mean, not specific. They're all mashed in my mind.
Yeah. I remember the Dwight Howard one.
Vince Carter, man.
Yeah.
Vince Carter, when he went under, it was just different. It was like, and he just the way he jumped, the way he jumped.
And they're on the Vince
Yeah,
Carter
yeah.
It's a
slam
style.
dunk contest.
It's a style. It's finesse. It's a lot to it, you know. And there was like, there's
Oh, is
Jordan.
this
There's
the
Jordan.
pickup game, Matt?
There's Jordan from the
Jordan.
free throw line, but
Yep.
like, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, that was
Yeah,
the one.
that'll do it. That'll do it.
I remember the one with what was his name? He was small. He was on Nate Robinson.
Yeah,
Nate
yeah.
Robinson. When he jumped over Dwight Howard, was it? He jumped over Dwight Howard that year. Yeah, that was good. That was
that
pretty
was
cool.
crazy,
I remember that.
Did you grow up watching the dunk contest?
Yeah, definitely. I was obsessed. I think the Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon is the one that I remember the most. It was just, I think that's the best one ever, really. But
Wow.
Really? You think out of all the dunk contests, the Zach LaVine, the Gordon, the back and forth?
by far, yeah.
Yo, put that on. I want to see what P-Rod and Luke think right after this. Because this was the best dunks of all time.
What's the worst dunk contest of all time?
Damn.
I don't know.
Hey,
He's like, I'm not getting involved with that. I got to see these guys in the locker
wasn't
room.
like Brent
That
Berry or
was
something like
insane.
that.
What is
I'm
this?
trying to think. So yeah, this was just, I think, the best. They were going back and forth with just dunks. No one's
That's
ever
so
seen.
That's
nasty.
insane. Yeah.
On the
Zach
doubles.
LaVine's a dog.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
MJ.
yeah. Oh, come on, MJ.
I mean, that's classy.
Yo, you guys see the stat? They're saying, oh, my.
Boom.
Yo, he jumps from the free throw line. They did
It's
a,
just unheard of for the time too.
Yeah. And didn't he win like everything that year?
yeah, like defensive player of the year. He won the championship and he won the slam dunk contest. But they did a stat recently that they're going to take away some of his defense. What is that? They're going to take away
Doctor.
some of his defensive
The doctor,
stats.
right?
They're saying that
Why?
they said that they were padding the stats. Did you read that tweet?
Oh wow, no.
But
I
he
didn't see
passed
that.
the free throw line right there. He didn't jump from the free throw. He passed it a little bit.
At the time, what the early 70s?
Oh, that was before. Yeah. Okay. I respect.
Oh, my.
Just the aura too. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
He
yeah.
just had a different swag to him.
Did you grow up idolizing or like loving any basketball player, P-Rod?
Kobe and Jordan.
That's it.
I mean, Jordan for sure, but Kobe, like, he was the first athlete I ever remember, like, seeing him come into a league, watching his whole entire career, and then seeing him retire. He was the first person, it was invested in his whole experience and his whole career. So for sure, Jordan, Kobe.
What was it about Kobe Bryant that you loved?
I mean, the Mamba mentality. He just made you, like, when I first knew about Kobe, it was right when I was getting into skating. And the way he loved basketball, I was like, no, that's how I love skateboarding. I love it just the same, the same. And so, like, that really, like, is where I found the passion. Because, like, I love basketball. I watched it growing up as a kid, but, like, I didn't really follow it like that. But what I do is I like to, like, take from whoever in whatever sport, whatever genre, whatever they're in, if they're like the greatest at what they do, I like to like learn about them and like find out like where their passion's at and like try to absorb that to add to what I'm doing. So Kobe was the one who just made me want to, like, I would get up before school, go in my backyard and skate before I had to go to class. So then I would get ready after I was skating, then go to school, then come home, skate again. Like, you know, just try to like get as many sessions as I could in a day. For
just the drive.
Forever. Yeah. So Kobe just like, I just saw like, oh, how much he loves basketball. Well, I'm not going to let him love basketball more than I love skateboarding. So I got to love skateboarding more. Like, you know, that's kind of really what was,
I mean,
to me, most special about Kobe.
This video with Nike SB, how old were you when you dropped your first Nike SB?
When I dropped my first Nike SB, I was 19.
How old are you in this video? 19?
No, this was for number 3. So I was 24 here.
Is this the video with Kobe?
Yeah.
So this was the first time they put budget into you to have a crazy video? Is that how this happened?
This was the biggest budget at that time, yeah.
And then how did Kobe get involved with you in this video?
They just pulled some strings at Nike, and we just happened to be shooting at Loyola Marymount, and he came there that summer to like go talk to a bunch of kids who were playing ball over the summer, and we were just shooting there, and they were like, yo, can we get Kobe for like 30 minutes? And we had him literally for 30 minutes. He came to the set. We had the idea already ready for him to walk up the stairs as me and Costin were jumping down. And we just had like 2 or 3 takes. And then boom, it was a trip for me because Eric Costin, that guy right there, is my hero growing up in skateboarding. That's the guy I always emulated. And then there goes Kobe. Walking up when we were coming down, and you know, we just had 2, 3 takes. Kobe did that. He watched the playback with us, and he was like, "That was nuts." And then on top of that, then we got Ice Cube. So like to me, this was like the pinnacle of my life.
And how many days did it take you to film this?
I think it was like a 3-4 day shoot.
Oh wow!
Oh, you must have been on cloud 9.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's many people that say Costin's like the Jordan, you're the Kobe, and Nyjah Sheckler are like the LeBron James. Do you agree with that?
I don't know if it's my place to agree or disagree, but I'm definitely honored and grateful if that's what people say.
Humble as can be, I definitely think most people can agree with that, though.
I'd always Kobe's the shit, man. I'd always rather be the Kobe.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that.
Jordan or Kobe,
major honor.
Look at this. This is the craziest thing. Imagine filming a video and then you already had Kobe, you have Costin, and then you got this.
Yeah, it was
you
like,
got the Friday pull up.
Oh
yeah,
my
it was very overwhelming.
This was pretty iconic because I remember this so well too.
Oh dang,
it was so dope. I mean, there's nothing like it in skateboarding and Nike.
Yeah, that was just like I don't know. I it's a moment that you just can't ever recreate in your life, and like I'm just grateful that I had one of those moments in my life.
Mac, at this time in your career, now that you're coming off a massive MVP season, you're coming off a massive slam dunk contest winning championship, you know, as a player who's put on a very dominant performance 2 years in a row, both in the slam dunk contest and in the league, and then also now on paper winning MVP. Do you feel like going into this year you also just signed this massive Puma deal, right?
Yeah, so I extended with Puma actually last year after the first dunk contest, who have just been incredible. I know we're talking about Nike here, but I'm Puma over here.
Everybody got to get their plug in.
Everybody got a little different story here. That's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, but no, that commercial was incredible. But I feel good. I think I'm religious. I believe everything's in God's time. So I know who I am, and I know what I can do. So it's just waiting on my turn, waiting on my opportunity, and being ready when it comes. But yeah, I'm really grateful. I've had some incredible last 2 years that I've really enjoyed.
What's the opportunity that like Puma comes to you? They say, "Hey, we want to sign you," or how did that even happen?
Yeah, so like if someone does the dunk contest, usually there'll be multiple brands hit them up, and it'll probably be like a one-off deal, like wear this shoe in the dunk contest, and we'll pay you this amount of money. And I just kind of talked to about 3 different brands, and Puma was the most like they literally like cared about me and like knew everything about me, and I was like, oh man, like these guys, this could be like it's more of a family atmosphere here. And I went there, and you know my high school team sponsored by Puma, my hometown, everybody buys Puma. Like it's been a family thing, and they take care of my family real well. So
that's pretty incredible. And then I heard that you also built like a Puma court.
Well, no. So the court does have Puma on it, but my hometown, I sold a bunch of shirts, and I just gave it to my hometown the money, and they put my name on the court, the new basketball court. So
that's sick.
It's super cool to see like my hometown like having my name on the court. It's just incredible.
That's rad.
As we look at this, like a lot of people hit us up for like business questions, right? So as we look through the questions, a lot of the team here was saying, hey, the JAXXON podcast Discord, they want to know about business. They want to know how to handle sponsorships. They want to know how much you get paid. We don't need to talk about money, but how different is the dynamic of like endorsement deals from you? Because you're a little bit different because you have social, you have the accolades, you're winning contests from the G League to like the NBA or like from Nike coming involved. Like how different is the gameplay from the G League to the NBA in terms of sponsorship?
I think the biggest thing is because you see a lot of NBA players that probably don't benefit off sponsorships like as much as people who are TikTokers or whatever, but like it's all about kind of how it's almost your likeness and your personality is really what gets like the sponsorships, and you know you're following obviously on Instagram and all your socials. So yeah, for me it's just been like obviously I'm not getting the same money on the court, so off the court it's been like my biggest plays is all the sponsorships and how to balance those, that not every post is a sponsorship. And when you do one, like it can be creative and cool, like the one you just showed. Like that's what I love. I direct all of mine. So like I just try to make them funny or interesting, not in like a bland way.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, as we talk about like the body and training, your hops, like P-Rod said, you go up. I wasn't even thinking about that. I don't know why I'm so stuck on that, but you actually make a good point, right? Because as skaters or athletes, sometimes it is a little bit different, right? Like I would think that you would be able to jump as high as him. I don't even think about it the same way because I see you jump 30-foot stairs. I'm like, oh, this guy probably has way crazier hops than Matt.
No.
But now that you say that, my mind's blown actually. I know that sounds lame, but it is. So Luke is huge on inflammation, body recovery training. He's obviously a world champion fighter, world class, still in the best shape of his life. That's why he's still able to compete. One of the main reasons why I love having Luke here, besides he brings a bunch of chicks because he looks good, is that Luke understands the body. He understands training, the mentality of what it takes. He still trains and spars 7 days a week, no days off, always running around the town. Luke, can you break down to me, like you were talking earlier about how basketball training, skating, like fighting, like training is very important no matter what sport you're at that level. Like how do you train and stay this healthy at this age?
I think every sport's a little different, but I mean, there's still relative things that have crossovers. It's just taking care of your body is obviously the number one thing. And I mean, skateboarding, it's like for fighting, I want to be heavier because I like heavy. I'm a very heavy footed person. Like surfing and skateboarding, I was always like, I couldn't skate. Your center of balance is so off unless you're like really light and agile and you had the hops, I think basketball is maybe an in between, but everything's like different of how it's all footwork is huge. I think for all of us. I mean,
yeah,
I always kind of grew up in like a surf skate stance, and I'm right-handed, but I'm a southpaw because I grew up surfing and skating goofy foot. So I just felt comfortable. So I taught myself how to fight as a southpaw, and I came up with my advantages through that. And so it's like my style was always just a little more flowy, a little different to that.
Yeah, I always see P-Rod. I always see you doing these workouts now at the Mamba Academy. Yeah, but it's called something else now.
Sports Academy.
Sports Academy, my bad. So I always see you doing these workouts. What is it that you're doing to stay in shape at this age?
So I've been working with my trainer since like 2009 or 10. And, there was never like skateboarders were never like, had a training routine. It was just always like, just go skate, dude. Like, don't work out. You're not a jock. But like, so we've kind of been developing it over the years. And for me, it's like, a lot of plyometric stuff, trying to be explosive, a lot of functional stuff, like flexibility, but like just strengthening the legs, a lot of injury prevention. I don't do a lot of upper body, but enough so that like when I fall and I hit the ground, I can like take the abuse. A lot of it's just like injury prevention stuff and just being able to fall and take the abuse. So that's kind of
Pull up some P-Rod trips, jumping off rails, and
that's the biggest thing for me is learning how to fall. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like learning how to take a fall. Obviously taking a fall, but learning how to.
When I was
how
like
to not
in
take it
fifth,
like
sixth
that
grade, I used to do gymnastics. I didn't know I was gonna skate. I just was like, oh, I just like flipping. I like martial arts, and I liked like Bruce Lee movies and stuff. So I just was like, I want to take karate classes, do gymnastics, and I didn't know that was actually preparing me for skateboarding to help like be a graceful faller.
But is falling like, I mean, I've seen you fall stairs and rails. The other day you posted one of you falling. Like, is it still hurt, or at this point in time you know how to fall?
It definitely hurts. I mean, it just depends. Sometimes you get a fall that it catches you off guard, and then sometimes you can anticipate a fall. It just depends. But in skateboarding you fall way more often than you land. So it's definitely a helpful skill.
You made this the P-Rod part for Primitive and Nike. What is this right here?
Yeah, this is for when that shoe dropped. So I made this video part for that shoe. So this was like 2001. This was my first video part back after I had a ACL reconstruction.
No way.
So I was like hyped to
How long did it take you to come back from an ACL?
It was like before I was skating confidently, it was about 2 years.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, wow. It was a bad one. It was like the ACL, meniscuses, MCL, bone contusion. So it was like a pretty. I did a nice little number on my knee. I did it all at once.
From falling?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just one fall,
and it bust your kneecap.
Yeah, the whole knee just popped out and popped in and just took everything with it. And so this is like this right here was my first rail I skated.
Jesus.
After I got better, so like it took a couple years.
Rails are like a different level deal. Just a commitment. Like,
they're scary.
Like, fuck.
And like
I never tried a rail. I was always ramp.
I'm super mellow with rails. Like I'm not very progressive with rails, but I do like to get a rail in here and there. But the stuff that guys are doing now on these rails, I can't even understand it. It's like a different language.
Break it down for me.
Nyjah, Jamie Foy, these type of guys, Ryan DeCenzo, like the shit that they're willing to skate, like every single day, they're willing to like, today could be my last day on skating.
Yeah. The commitment down these big stairways, down the things, you're like, what?
Yeah. It's like
landing.
There's no room for error. Like either you your career's over or you make it.
Yeah.
Yo, after this video, pull up the Nyjah video and then pull up that Sheckler part where he jumps off that building. I want to ask P-Rod something about that. Yeah. Mac, have you ever skated?
No, I've never even tried.
Have you surfed?
Never even tried.
Really? Do they let you skate or surf now that you're like signed to an NBA team?
I probably wouldn't say it out loud.
Yeah.
But no, I had a question. So it's like when I think about like shooting or like in a game, like or in a tough situation, like if it's not like flow or if you second guess it, or I feel like if you second guess on that, like
100%,
you have to be like almost like
I think that's
insane confidence, right? When you take those jumps.
Yeah. So like for me, like it depends on each person's different. I'm pretty cautious. So like when I'm taking those jumps, luckily like that's not like a contest situation. So like I have the time to like, okay, I know the spot I'm at. I can roll up. I can test my speed. I can like, okay, all right, I'm going to try now. Okay, guys, I'm going now. And then I can roll up again, take a few times, go back and forth, visualize it, and then like, all right, guys, ready to go now. So it's like you're not like you control the environment mostly in skateboarding. Like that right there, like that's this dude, he's out of his mind.
Yeah,
he's my favorite. He's like the most, to me, mentally, he's the strongest skateboarder there is.
What do you think makes Nyjah so special?
His mind. I think he's like one of those guys. He's definitely an adrenaline junkie for sure. But I think he gets off on the thrill of like, okay, either I'm gonna die or I'm gonna make it.
And, that's a unique thrill, P-Rod.
Yeah. and that was never my mentality. But like we're totally different skaters, but like I admire so much his ability to commit and like override his like his, I guess what you like in a car you call it your governor.
His fault button.
He has his ability to override the fear
Common sense.
is and common sense, I guess, is why he's so amazing. And he has the skill and control to
But even
to
in his
do it.
style, like break it down for me. Like his style seems effortless. It seems like even the way he pops his board, it seems so fluid. Like it just
He's
seems
very
like it's
fluid. He's very light-footed. He's very well balanced.
Luke brought up a good point because you fight switch kind of, and you also box southpaw, but you're a righty. P-Rod's one of the craziest to ever do it. I mean, P-Rod's shape and style kind of cemented the game of street skating. Like, how is it that you created this style that you have for you?
Me?
Yeah.
I just watched all my favorite skaters growing up, and I took a little bit of admiration from each of them, and like
From who are your like your guys, you know?
Oh.
Because like that's the biggest thing I think with being an individual like at the top of their game is you pick a little bit from everybody. Like I had like a little someone who'd you
so like Eric Costin, the technical abilities of Eric Costin was something I always admired and watched. Tom Penny, the fluidness, the style, like the nonchalant, looked like he was asleep when he was skating. Like I was like, how do you make something so hard look so easy, you know? And then you got Andrew Reynolds with the big stair jump in. You got Daewon Song with the incredible balance. Ronnie Krieger with more technical ability. So like they were all my favorite skaters. I would just be like, try to take a little bit of all of them. And then that after a while of, you know, dedicating yourself, that recipe then becomes your own unique recipe that you made, you know, because I never created anything. I never, you know, I came in at a time where like all the guys before me like really established the game. So I just tried to learn from the best and, you know, pull little pieces from different areas to make my own little recipe.
Yeah, it's interesting because Luke, the reason I brought that up is you kind of created your own fight style too. The way you kind of stand switch, the way you kind of throw, the way you kind of move, the way you hold your hands. Like you obviously kind of have a recipe of this too. Did you pull from different fighters or you just came up on your own?
No, I pulled. I liked little things from everybody. You know, how people would move. I mean, how Anderson Silva was like, how he'd switch and do different things. How Machida had his like, you know, his the karate kind of movement style. And I like my grappling aspect, but like I think there's an obsession with the striking aspect. I think it's a little more sexy for fighting. But grappling was just always me. It was like the way I grappled, and I just learned how to at such a young age to do it. So I was more like that was more natural for me, the grappling aspect. Where there was like Mitch Clark, this guy who was a wrestler. He used to take top because every wrestler was about getting up and getting away from people. And then Mitch Clark was like this guy who was like, I'm going to take top. I'm not going to look for the points to get away. I'm going to fucking own your ass. I'm going to ride you and break you. And so like when I was in high school, everyone would like, they could be strategize the points of getting on bottom and getting up and getting a point, you know? And I'd be down in a match. I'd be like, take top. And then I'd spin around a double leg ride, spin them out and power half them and start pinning everybody.
So it's like the strategy of understanding what works best for you after pulling from the inspiration, right?
I think everybody probably, I'm guessing all athletes, like as you get going, like you start seeing where your strengths are and aren't, and you just gravitate towards what works best for you. I think it's kind of innate, and you could probably even see it on video or wherever you see it on and you're like, wait, something is resonating with me and about this aspect of whatever it is, and like, yeah.
Yeah, Mac, why don't you kind of break down this? How did you get the hops? Same thing, pulling from athletes that you liked, or you have to come up with this on your own? You come from a small town. I'm pretty sure there wasn't a bunch of people around you to teach, right?
Yeah, I think for like my style of play, I always wanted to there was not like a short white guy that was like crossing people up and dunking on people at the time. So I was like, oh, I want to be that. And then as far as like stealing from people, like I always find it best to steal from like people that I've been around for a long time. Like if I have a team, like each year I'll steal something from one of my teammates. Like one of my teammates is a lot slower than me and he has different strengths, but he's taller. Like there's different moves that like everybody has like a signature move in basketball. You know what I mean? It's like, this is his go-to move. This is what he's going to do. I'm like, why does this work for him? So like one of my friends, I was playing with him last year and he would have this move where he he would use his body and he would just put the ball low and put it to people's hands to grab a foul. So like this year I stole that from him. Like in the next year, like if someone has some other setup, I'll just try to like take little moves from everybody, and then like my bag will get bigger and bigger, just stealing from like people's signature moves, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes you know, because I see it all the time now that we do the podcast, and every time Luke's here, one thing that I admire about Luke is he's a student of the game still. He still is like watching tape of people. He still cares because he's still competing. I think you get to a level after winning a championship or a belt, and then it's like most guys just like kind of take it easy. And then this guy goes and does it again, and then he'll go to another organization and do it again. So I think he has more of a thrill at your age of like, hey, I'm still good. I still want to fight. So I always look at that and I go, that's someone I want around me. He obviously still wants to be the best. And I'm always looking, how do we create JAXXON? How do we take this to the next level? How do we advance our culture, our community? How do we support a surfer and a skater at the same level? But how do we connect them at the same level? So when we come in here, we have a lot of fighters here. We have Gabriel and Khalil. We have Kalen Walsh. We have Mighty Mouse. Everybody's in here every day. Rampage. And one thing is, I love seeing like the skaters and the surfers, you know, mix it in with the fighters and learn boxing. Like, have you ever studied boxing? Have you ever studied MMA? Have you done any type of training like in combat sports?
No, so I went and watched one UFC fight, and I was like, these guys are fucking crazy. And I was like, this is like, I can't relate to these guys at all. Like, because you think of like basketball, baseball, like skateboarding, like everything we do, like, and there's a huge art in fighting as well, but like there's also a switch that none of us, football's probably the closest, but there's a switch that people flip that's a little different than every other sport when it comes to fighting, I think. And I realized that as soon as I watched it live. Like you watch it on TV, you're like, like live, you're like, holy crap, these guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Commitment, gaming, and like fighting is fucked up. It's like, because it's like it takes a crazy commitment and confidence to do what you do, and you can't hesitate. Hesitation is the killer of all of us. But hesitating and fighting is like, because
it seems like there's an element you can't control because you got another person coming at you.
You got to let go. Yeah, you got to let go of all the outcomes. Wow. I think the biggest thing with the best people, what they do is letting go of the outcome, and just having confidence in doing whatever the fuck you think or know you can do. Because if you think about losing or winning or not doing it, it's like, you know, it's got to be like so pure in that moment, and that's when things come off the best. I mean, I played basketball growing up, and I won an AAU championship. Thank you. Beat Oakland.
Yeah,
bro.
I skateboarded. I skateboarded. It's like, but it's but I like its commitment of like, you know, like it's a different mindset. It's like, I wasn't the greatest basketball player, but like I knew what it took. It was like nervous to take the ball because you had a team. Yeah. I didn't like being on a team was a different thing too, because it's like I don't want to let my team down, and you have to carry the pressure of your team, and that's a different mentality. I was always like to do it on my own, and so and skateboarding, I learned how to be. I was a pussy until I started skateboarding, and I started I'd have a bad go with my girlfriend, and I'd go to the skate park on my own on a Sunday, and I'd just kill myself. And then I learned how to be tough. I learned how to finish what I was starting. Like if I had this thing and I was like dealing with my issues, I didn't give a fuck. I'd be there by myself, stoned fucking grim, and just committed to doing whatever I needed to do, no matter how many times I fell, no matter how many times I got through it. So, but yeah, it's like I've taken a lot from everything, but the team concept is tough, man. And being on my own, it's like, fuck, it's me.
Yeah.
And then I learned to just work harder by myself and to push myself further. And if I was going to let anybody down, I was going to let myself down, which is kind of the worst, but at the same time, it's different. There's just two different mentalities.
Yeah, I could feel that too. I've never been like much of a team sports guy in my life. So yeah, that's actually well put. I second that.
Yeah, because in basketball, it's like, as much as you want to be like, hey, I'm better than you, like I'm coming at you, like it's not about you in a lot of ways. It's about winning, like every time. So, and this might be a dumb question, but I think, how do you look at it? Because like naturally, I don't want to like, and I'm not trying to sound weird, but like naturally, I don't want to hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, I'm not trying to. So how do you look at that? Is it the art of the fighting, or is it like you actually have a problem with it? You actually want to hurt this guy? I'm sure with the like build up, it does get that with the smack talk and everything, but like, I don't know, like fighting, that's what interests me in it, like that you do that. Like how do you do that for a living?
Yeah, I love the art of it. I think I've been doing it at such a young age. So it started when I was in judo when I was a kid. And like, I remember I was 6 years old or something. I think my first competition in judo, and my dad was 6'8", big fucking huge guy. Like, my dad never fought, but he was so intimidating, such a big, strong guy that like I never had like any worries or any insecurities. And like, I committed to doing this judo thing, and training was one thing, but like in a competition with everyone watching and like getting thrown on my head and just getting held down and like feeling like the littlest person in the world, I was like, fuck, I lost and I took second place in a competition. I've never felt like that little in my life. And I was like, fuck that shit. I'm not going to let that be better me. And then I just grew up through wrestling, and then wrestling there was something missing in wrestling. I was like, I just kind of always had that in me, that fight. And wrestling was like, I'd be getting pinned by a guy. Like, I wouldn't be getting pinned, but I'd be outpointed on like, oh, there's something more to this. And I found jiu-jitsu. I was like, okay, now it's like more creative. I can fucking finish this guy's life. And then in jiu-jitsu, I was like, okay, now we're just holding, you're stalling. I can punch you in the face. I want to kill you now. Oh. And so it was like, there was ways that like I could break a guy's bones. I could pin a guy. Oh, and then I could break his bones. I was like, no, I want to kill a guy.
Wow.
So I think everything naturally escalated to like where it's like, I just didn't want to ever feel that feeling I felt.
That vulnerableness.
That vulnerability.
Yeah.
But that all escalated through the process. And yeah, it was always just naturally ingrained, but it's still the art. It's still like a chess piece. You know what I mean? It's like, how can I be like, I don't think I've ever been the very, very best in one particular thing, but I was always so good at everything. And then in fighting, that it gives me an opportunity. Like, if you're a better striker than me, then I can flow into that. I can wrestle. If you're jiu-jitsu, I can keep it up like this. Like, when you put everything together, that's the fun part. That's the mind.
Yeah, I feel like, even to touch on that, like Royce Gracie was on the podcast. His family obviously famous for, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and the stories are there. But one thing was like, their father wouldn't let them hit. They had to try to prove the martial art was a discipline of, showing that they could kind of win a fight without having to throw a punch or having to hit. Now, I know the story and the narratives always change over time, but coming from Royce Gracie, do you feel like, for you, for example, because I know you're a killer and you don't really like many people, and you didn't start being a really nice, likable guy till you started hanging out with us. But do you feel that now that you're like at this age where you've proven yourself so much that you're world champion, Strikeforce, UFC, you have nothing left to prove, you're a Hall of Fame level fighter, you're still fighting at this level, at the highest level, you could still do everything you did 10 years ago at the highest level. Do you feel now that you don't have as much, not hate in your heart, but as much kill? That it's more of like, hey, I'm just doing this to make money. Do you lose that edge?
I don't know. I mean, I still like to. I think it's the doubt at this age. I think I got bored and I got distracted, and I think that's why I lost the world championship, and I lost my way for a little bit. I was like, what's next, kind of thing. Like, I was Strikeforce champion, then I was UFC champion. I was like, fuck it. I was like, I want to make more money and just get a little distracted. Like, it's too easy, and then. Having like a little downtime and a lot of doubting. Now I'm getting older. It's like, I don't want to let go of my abilities. And I still think if you put in that certain amount of energy to it, the doubt and the ability to defy odds, I think, is what's brought us into this. And it's like, and it's more so now than ever, which motivates me more so now than ever.
That's one thing that trips me out sometimes, is like, man, like I try to fight it mentally. It's like, man, I spent my whole entire life developing a skill, a craft, and I gave it everything. And no matter how much you put into it, at some point it fades regardless. Like for any athlete of any athletic endeavor, like it's, for me, that's something I like have a hard time accepting. It's like, fuck, like, because you could be a writer, you could be a musician, you could be a comic or whatever, and like just keep getting better always your whole entire life. And like I get jealous because like we're in something that like you dedicate your entire life to, and no matter what, at some point, it's just gonna fade no matter how hard you want to keep it going. It's
you just gotta try to do it with a little grace. But it's like once you let it go, in fighting, professional fighting, like once I let it go, it's gone. Like, I can't get back in a professional fight. You could always skate as a professional. I mean, like, motherfuckers are ripping at 60 these days.
Yeah, but you know the standard you have for yourself that you're like, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're like,
if I can't step into a ring like that, you know, you can always do it with style and grace. People are always going to love watching you skate, no matter how, you know, what you always have your little styles, your little things. It might not be like what you want it to be, but like you keep it to motivate you through life. I think life, you continually need your young buck, but you'll understand.
Max just come into the game and has Max like, ready to turn the page and start a brand new chapter.
Yeah. You can turn pages, but you know, it's nice to hold on a little
It's
bit.
Hard. Yeah.
But P-Rod, do you feel like, I mean, this is actually a cool topic, and Mac, you being so young in your career, you're just starting, but you're facing some difficulties, and I wouldn't call them difficulties because of you, but there's obstacles that are placed that you keep knocking down, and then another one pops up. You're like in an infinite Mario like level, and you just keep just keep hitting the little mushrooms and keep getting bigger, right? But it just keeps going. I feel like every time you've proven yourself to a certain level, you get faced with another wall and you jump over it. Kind of, you know, it's weird how life does that to us, right?
Yeah, I think this conversation just made me think like, and the moment I feel the most in my purpose, the best feeling I ever have in my life when we're talking about craft is like that time you don't want to go to the gym, that extra time, and you're there, and maybe you're by yourself because nobody else is with you, and you're working. Like that feeling of like I'm out working somebody right now. It's like, and yeah, maybe this is against me, or maybe people don't think I can do this, but like, and you're still in the mix, and the uncertainty is still there. Like that's the beauty. Like man, that made me think. That got me fired up. Like that moment, like really chasing something is the most beautiful thing. It's like, yeah, I'm this underdog, but like, I mean, there's a beauty in being an underdog. Like people can feel an underdog. Like, it's just, I don't know. That's the beauties in the or the dreams in the journey, man. So like, I've been lucky to like keep having to chase, and I love to chase, you know. But yeah, no, that just reminded me of that when we talk about craft and stuff.
It's cool though because we're
Security
watching
is
you.
dangerous.
Yeah.
That's
We're
the
watching
most
you do it.
Dangerous thing to like for a lot of people when you have too much and it's too easy.
Yeah.
People start doing some
crazy things. And it's interesting because we in real time watch you do this. Like we watched you dominate the G League, go up, come down, do it again. You know what I mean? Like then we watch you get the call up, dominate, and then the next season starts and it's like two-way deal. It's not like you're not making money. It's not like you're not performing, right? So it's obviously something outside of your control. I've never heard you complain in 4 years. I've never seen you not go to the gym. I've never seen you say, I'm going to take a vacation. No, I've seen you fly out 5 trainers with you, stay in a crib, train every day. And you said, no, we can only go to Nobu the last night I'm there because I ain't trying to mess up my diet because you know I eat bad. So like,
I mean, barrel
sushi
order
ain't too bad.
yeah, no, not the way I
the way
eat.
he is.
Yeah, that's for sure.
A lot of sauces.
Yeah.
So like, it's interesting to me, like, where does this mindset, where is this drive coming from? Are you trying to prove yourself right? Are you trying to prove people wrong? Like, because people always ask athletes every day, hey, what motivates you? But something obviously is driving you to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I mean, I really believe in like I don't look at anyone else's path. Like I know God has a path for me, and I know like when I was younger, like the biggest thing I want to do is I wanted people to like feel me. Like I wanted people to feel my story. I wanted people to be inspired. So it's like every time I'm knocking on the door and it closed, I'm like, I'm gonna knock another time. Like it's just part of it. Like it's gonna make the story even better. Like yeah, I think I deserve this or this. And then as soon as I had an opportunity, I did my best, and you know everyone was on the same page. And hey, they still didn't feel me, but I'm gonna keep knocking that door. So it's like by the end of it, I think. And I'm hoping, you know, if it's God's plan, like I do make it, I do make a big impact, and I do win big. It's like people will feel the story more because of all the hard times and all the no's. But like every time I get a no, I'm just like, I'm one more no closer to a yes. You know what I mean? Because it's coming. Like I'm gonna keep knocking. Like I know, not to keep rambling, but like I could have left a bunch of times and I could have chased the money a bunch of times, but I'm really chasing legacy and inspiration more than anything.
Yeah, that's a crazy one. We talk about money, right? Like most kids in your position probably would have chased, you know, I've seen some of the offers on the internet, like Australian and Chinese teams are offering you millions of dollars to go play. They know you could sell out arenas and tickets, and you have this like and one mixtape tour-esque to you. Like they want to watch you on the court because they know you could ball, but you have it with style and grace. What makes you not go take that money?
I don't think that's a bad thing to go overseas. Like I've never wanted to put that out there. I think my goal.
No, I'm not saying you said that though. Just to be clear.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure you know that. I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I just
know you
know
didn't
that
say
you're
that.
chasing the NBA dream.
Right. Yeah, I'm chasing the NBA. I feel like that's the best league in the world, and that's the league I feel like I should play in, and that's where I want to play. Yeah, I've been offered some crazy just deals.
I've seen on the internet.
It's just
Dude's being offered $10 million to go play in China. I'm not going to put out your
not
money
10
like that.
not
Don't
$10
worry.
million.
Don't worry. I won't put it out there.
Not $10 million, but a lot of money, and it's just my best friends have really helped me with some of those decisions when you know you could change your life forever, but it's like It's about legacy. It's not about money. So it's about, doing things the right way, chasing what you love, doing something because you truly love it. So
Before I want to go into this, I pulled up the Kobe Bryant top 10 career plays. I want to ask you some of these plays. I want to see what you think before we start this, because I know Kobe, big inspiration to you, P-Rod. P-Rod, what is it that still makes you love skating though at this age? Because I still see you trying to make parts. I still see you trying to do your thing. I still see you skating every day. You're more active than you've ever been. You're at X Games. You're at your park that you built in your own warehouse. Like, what is it that motivates you?
Dude, I just love it. I don't know what to say. Like the feeling that like when cool. when I'm grinding a ledge, it just feels great. When I do a trick down a set of stairs and I land the way I was envisioning it in my mind, like it's just I'm constantly chasing a high of what if I can see it in my mind, I'm just constantly chasing that vision of it, and it's just I don't know. I just haven't got enough of it. And
are you still trying to compete?
No, competing, I will say I have had enough of it at this point, because if I'm trying to street skate and compete, it takes so much effort and so much out of your body to do both at such a good level that I had to be like honest with myself and be like, at this point in my life, at this age, like I got to either pick one or the other to commit all the way to. And to me, the streets is the way to commit. That's the way I started. It's the way I fell in love with skateboarding. It's the way I came in the game. And I've, had my good success in competition and competing. And I miss that aspect of it. But I'd rather, just do one really well than two of them like mediocre.
Yeah. And one more thing, not to cause controversy, but Sheckler and Nyjah were recently on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And they answered a question that I had for them, which was kids skating a spot, not knowing what had been done there before, not knowing the history and the legacy of certain spots because street skating is so iconic. And then at the same time, how important street skating still is, even as a competitor. And I know this is a unique topic, and people who don't understand skating may not understand the legitimacies of what it takes to be a street skater and to make parts and to put out content that people can appreciate and love. It got a lot of craziness. It went viral, has like 10 million views on the JAXXON podcast, has 50,000 comments. And Nyjah and Sheckler are just agreeing on the fact that like street skating is still the most important.
Yeah, of course.
So can you break it down for me? How important is it? Is it never been done?
Well, because skateboarding is not, it's a big even argument in skateboarding to even call it a sport. So a lot of guys don't even like it being referred to as a sport. It's not built for competition. It's more, I could say you could compare it more to music than you can to any other sport. So it's like saying, who's better, Jimi Hendrix or Bob Marley? I don't know. They're both freaking great, and it depends who you ask. And some people might just be like, why do I got to pick? I love them both. They're both awesome. Do I have to pick? It's like that type of thing. So like, it's not built to be judged and like scored and like this guy, because that it's an art. It's like, it's about, I resonate with this guy because I like his style, I like the way he skates. I just like the way this guy pushes. He might not even have to do a trick. He might just push really well. And, the way he did that trick. And then also in street skateboarding, they're doing tricks in street skateboarding that are like pushing the boundaries and levels that have never been done. In competition, they're just doing the hardest thing they can do this try right now, do or die. So it's like, it's the level you can't do as crazy stuff as you're going to do in the streets, because we have editors, we have cameras, we can go all day long and try it for 5 hours until you get it, or you can keep coming back until you get that thing that no one's ever done before at this spot that no one's ever skated before. And then in a contest, like it has to be, it's just naturally going to be not quite as advanced, because it's like, I have one try, I have to do it right here. I don't have time to be that risky,
And
do you think
yeah, go ahead.
switch should be judged as well? Like, I mean, like that's for me. It's like, I always appreciate like the craziest, baddest motherfucking thing to do, in skateboarding, where it's like, I think switch became such a tactical play in skateboarding, where it's like, switch, it's not going to be as cool, but I did it switch. So I should get more points for it. It's like, I don't know.
I think in my era when I was coming up, that's what I gravitated towards, is like, well, shoot, I'm not gonna be able to flip in and do this wild thing that this guy just did over here. Like if we're talking competition skating.
For competition.
Yeah, then I was like, all right, well, but I know none of these guys are going to be doing it switch, so I'm going to do it that way, and that felt good to me. But and in that era, it was given its like judgment of like, okay, that was switch is not often seen, but now I think skating switch is very common. So it's like got to be a combination of both. You have to do something switch, but it's also got to be like have a couple extra flips or spin, whatever it is. But it still gets judged higher if you're doing like, oh, that guy did that trick, which was amazing, but this guy did it switch. It still will get judged higher for sure.
It's crazy too, because the whole dynamic of skating, like the way you talk about it, like that is where we're at now. Like I watched X Games this weekend and I'm pretty knowledgeable with tricks. I understand most skaters, and it's like 2 flips in, 1 flip out, a trick on the rail. I'm like, dude, that's a 4-trick combo. In and out. I'm like, I don't even know what to call that. I wouldn't even be able to announce X Games.
Yeah, I don't think I would be able to either, so don't feel too bad.
All right, cool. Because I was watching, I was like, damn, dude, I run a podcast and I talk to skaters all day long, and I pride myself on knowing skate pretty good.
Yeah.
That I don't know how
and
to
then
announce
sometimes
that.
also in skateboarding, it's not about the hardest, fanciest thing. It's just about like, dang, that guy did it with like authority. He did it with real control, board control. Like he made it look easy, and it was very hard. This guy did a hard trick, but it looked hard, and it looked like he struggled, and it was like jittery, and like it
Perfect
just
point.
Yeah, it just depends. It depends on the person. That's why I compare 'em like closer to music than anything else, because it's like it's all what your style, just whatever you're gravitated towards. It's
There's certain guys that just did it so differently too, like Rodney Mullins. He's
Yeah.
just like, fuck.
Well, he's
You're
just the
what? You're like,
inventor.
what the fuck are
Yeah.
you doing? Like it was so different. No one was doing anything like it, and he's the inventor.
he's literally Thomas Edison of skateboarding,
Why do you feel that?
because
Hold
he
up.
literally invented
No,
everything.
No, I know.
Hey,
Hey, pull
he
it up.
took skateboarding to a different dimension.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
know, but I
like,
want to hear it for the people.
well, it
the
didn't
people
exist.
watching
Like,
this.
he
Explain it to them.
literally-
Yeah. Why do you feel that way?
I could never skate like that.
I
Like, it
mean,
was like,
every
the hell?
probably 90% of the things I do now are a combination of tricks he invented. So literally, he invented modern day street skateboarding.
Yeah,
modern day
pull
skateboarding.
that one right there, the one that you're on, most influential tricks. I want to see something.
It's like
So Matt,
the
just,
kickflip,
just to give you a breakdown
tray
too,
flip, frontside flip, backside.
because we're talking about these guys. Maybe you might be a little lost.
Yeah.
but
No, but, this is like,
Yeah.
but he's inventing new dunks.
it's the same concept. That's what I was going to compare it to. It's how
Well,
you
that
put
was
together
skateboarding
dunks.
before
Yeah.
Rodney. Now then Rodney invented current skateboarding.
Yeah, you ain't looking at the Z Boys for inspiration, right?
No, I respect and I'm
Yeah.
stoked that happened, because that had to happen for it to get to where I'm at.
Did Rodney do
But
a lot
like-
of acid?
I don't know. No. Rodney was the son of a dentist, a very just a quiet loner guy in Florida, and he just was just a loner guy, and he
Like, how
found
does-
this thing that he loved, and he just did it all day, every day.
Dude, just the balance.
And even
and the
his dad
flip, the
hated
power.
that he skated.
What did he do? A 360 flip from Chinese? Like what is that?
That right there was
Like, how does
a primo.
that-
I don't even know what to call it, but he started in a primo stance, and then he did some kind of a lot of flips.
I don't know how this guy was flipping boards that many times, that fast, that quick, that
Yeah,
easy.
like this
So
is
graceful.
79. Like this is like inventing right here. This is just, and that's before there was double kick tails. There's not even a nose
Yeah.
or a tail. It's just a flat piece of wood. And so he's learning how to use that leverage. And then now you see those are like more modern boards there, but like,
It's pretty incredible that a guy could have that much foresight of what a board and what a flip and what a board could do, right? The
Yeah.
possibilities. Mike, it's kind of like the way you jump over 3 dudes. We didn't even talk about this. How did you put together your slam dunk contest winning dunk?
Yeah, I mean, so like you were saying, like a lot of dunks, it's like everybody's doing mostly the same dunks, but how you do them, the swag, the aura, like we were talking about Vince Carter, it just looks different when he dunks it than everyone else. But yeah, no, I try to be creative. I try to do dunks no one's done before. I'm not sure if I'll do it again next year, but just randomly, we've already thought of some new dunks and stuff that haven't been done. So it's like, it's fun. That's the best part of it. The art of like, I've never seen this before, or, this is something that'll surprise everybody. So, I mean,
adding new layers.
But
and
do you like go back to the history books and be like, oh, this dunk's already been done, we can't do it?
I mean, so the first time I kind of didn't know until close before, and then I just rewatched every dunk contest and all the street dunkers, and I was like, how can I let me think of something that's never been done. And I just, like you said, layers. I would think of something. I was like, well, let me add this to it, and then let's put another guy right there, and just, I don't know. That was probably the most fun part, really, just calling all the boys every night, annoying them, like, hey, should I do this? Is this good enough? Let me send you this. You know?
Yes.
You hit up any NBA players or teammates to ask you, or just all your friends?
Just the homeboys. Yeah.
I know he came out here with all his squad last dunk contest. Every time he wins, he comes out here. And then the year before that, when we met him, so he's been out here 3 years in a row, we always do a little victory dinner at Nobu. And he brought all his boys, and his boys are like the most supportive crew. One's like his trainer, one's like his performance coach, one's like, I mean, it's cool. He's got his whole little ecosystem, and they all help push each other. And you can see it in his play, his mindset. But none of them are like not on the same level as him. They all want the best for him. They all want him to perform. They're not like these group of friends you see like that's just like taking. I thought it was pretty admirable, the people you kept around you. Because most people, they get to your spot, you know, they start getting cars, getting money, getting girls. You have like 3 books with you, like the Sorcerer's Stone or Harry Potter. I don't know. What is that? What were you reading on the beach?
I think I was reading Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday.
Yeah, you were reading a book, and I'm like watching you on the water. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? You're like, yo, I'm just trying to stay locked in. Like, this isn't, I'm not there yet. Like, damn, dude, that's some Kobe mentality.
Yeah, no, that's
Job's not done.
That's the best place to be in. That mindset where just like nothing in the world matters. There's no such thing as a distraction because you don't even care about a distraction. I didn't start getting distracted till way later on into my career. And I just remember it was so easy to be locked in because nothing else seemed so interesting. I was like, oh, you want to go over here and do that? But like everybody can do that. I want to do something that nobody can do. And so that's why I'm over here. This is exciting to me, you know? So
Yeah,
just keep
absolutely.
that. How old are you, Mac?
I'm 25.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm not
Keep
that
He's a
young.
baby.
But
I'm
not that young.
I mean,
baby.
you ain't that old,
Yeah.
that's for sure. You are definitely in your prime.
Pull up
physical
Kobe's
abilities.
top 10.
How about after this dunk contest, you getting some phone calls? You get anything we can spice up here?
You
get
talking
the
about
people
like
moving?
with
I know you-
teams or
Yeah,
like
with
girls?
teams.
Like,
Yeah.
oh,
A little bit of both.
Hey, we heard you on Riot.
Oh,
I don't know about that. Can't confirm or deny.
Can't confirm or deny.
But yeah, no, definitely. I was already signed to a team, so I couldn't after the first time, so I couldn't go anywhere else.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think the dunk contest is one thing. I don't think it's gonna crazy help me in the NBA, but you know, just my play, like you know, my first year coming in the league, being rookie of the year, and then second year winning a championship, third year MVP. Hopefully, that's what teams recognize, and it's like, hey, like this guy could help us win. But
Yeah. How are you changing your game up this year to try to get obviously get back in the?
yeah, I just add different layers. I don't want there to be any excuses. I want to be able to fit in any mold, like any situation. Do you need this from me? Do you need that? So it just like, you know, passing, shooting, finishing, like defense, like everything. I'm like, hey, whatever you need, like
Just playing that extra role.
yeah, whatever it takes.
It's
Whatever
pretty
it takes.
crazy too, because like as we were talking about that team sport versus individual sports, like P-Rod, you go out there, you're challenging yourself against a rail. Luke goes out there, he's challenging himself against a person. You go out there, you got to work with 5 people, you got to play with 5 people, you got to coach 4 guys on the court.
5
like,
people. You're going against giants, man. These dudes are like, I'm saying, you do a basketball court, you sit on the floor, and these guys are different, man.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
you're
Paul
it's
George, I was just
the
with Paul George.
size
The
of the
dude's like
size of the
6',
guys. It's like
dude.
the
it's a
athleticism,
different,
everything.
It's a different
crazy.
puzzle of how you have to you got to navigate a different game. It's like I'm
Pause right there,
fighting
Vinny.
guys my own size. You're going against giants.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is really just like as a point guard, you got to manage. I'm not really worried about the other team. I'm worried about my team, like because you got to manage emotions. Like this guy has to touch the ball this amount of times. This guy needs to score this amount of points, and this big man just got a block and a rebound. I got to reward him and get him the ball when he gets back down on the floor because he just put all that effort. Like it's an emotion managing game. You know what I mean?
Damn.
That's
You think
something.
about all that, you have to calculate all that in real time, or is this something that the coach is like trying to explain to you before the game? Like, yo, look at this. Hey, last game. Like, how do you put all that together so fast?
I mean, just over the years, I've really learned how to play the point guard position. You know how to get my assists, how to get everybody involved, how to keep everybody happy. And like, no, it's not perfect all the time, and I'm not the best in the world at it. But I feel like that's what like separates me from a lot of people is like just being able to like get guys points, get guys in the right situation, set them up, get 2 guys on me so they can get an open shot. Like. But yeah, no, that's what it's about, especially like when it's mid-year and, you know, it's not playoff time. Playoff time, everybody can be committed in playoff time. The first game, everybody's going to look good and play the right way. But like just keeping that focus between everybody is the toughest part, I think.
That's an incredible talent on on top of like that mindset talent, you know, that mindset, that understanding, the education of the game, having the intelligence to put that IQ, like that's a whole nother world besides the physicality. And then the part of, hey, you got to shoot a ball with the whole arena looking at you. We have Kobe's top 3 moments. Before we wrap this thing up, I kind of want to go through this. I love Kobe. He's one of my favorite players of all time. This is on YouTube, his 4th greatest highlight. It's him kind of just behind the back, spin. I mean, bro, this guy was so clean with it. Oh, yeah. I guess it is hard.
Why you gotta say it like that? He's just clean with it.
No, he's just clean with it. Everything he did was just so smooth. I feel like it's impossible to compare him to LeBron James. That's like the craziest debate. I don't even understand why we still have that.
It's different eras, different times. People just, you know, for the sake of conversation, but like
there's
incomparable.
No need to compare him.
Yeah, it's incomparable.
LeBron just didn't have the finesse.
Who's that? Steve Nash taking dives? Yeah, that was Steve Nash.
I mean, Kobe is just a killer.
Bro, always game time. Like
cold-blooded.
See, that's the
killer.
That's the thing. I'm not gonna shy away from saying it. He wanted the ball at every last moment of the game.
Yeah.
LeBron did not want the ball at every last moment of the game.
I don't know if I can let that one slide. I don't know.
Matt,
I mean, dude, I think
Matt played with LeBron on the Lakers.
So, I mean, people are different. Like you're saying, it's like skateboarding. Like
at the very closing seconds when you're down.
Let's see what he thinks.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Not when you're up.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying for sure. I think people are different. You can't compare. Like I hate comparing basketball players because like it's like an art. Like LeBron is going to make the right play every single time, and you know, like some people aren't going to like it. Some people are. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, they're a different style at the end of the game.
They're
you know,
take it.
And you know. I don't have a side I'd pick or which one's better. I know I prefer, like, if I'm the guy on the team, I want to take the last shot. I want that pressure on me. But also Bron, like, he's so good at everything that it's like I can't even comprehend or judge what he's doing to make the right play every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think you can compare. I think it was, you know, LeBron, his era, Jordan, his era, Kobe, his era. But the one thing about Kobe that no one can doubt is that the dude, I'm not going to say did it without a team, but the dude did it continuously at the highest level in a world where he didn't have the greatest support system. A lot of people always make the play like, oh, LeBron, you know, doesn't have a support system. Maybe just look at the facts. LeBron's probably the greatest player to ever play the game, but it's not like he didn't have a squad. His squad compared to Jordan's squads put up more points. Had a little bit better.
Who was the first championship?
I thought we're not comparing. I thought we're not.
We're not, but I am going to say,
that
you got to leave Kobe on his own island here. Okay,
I mean, that's just how I feel nostalgic wise. But like, if we're looking at it
stat wise,
you know, standing back, any athlete, like I think, like if you're talking about a top 5, top 10, whatever. I think if you're in the conversation, then you're just happy. I'm glad I'm on that list. Yeah. You know, because depending on who you ask, they're all going to have different people in different positions, but nobody's disagreeing that they're on that list.
Yeah.
You know
that's
what
cool.
I mean?
That's
like,
a good way to think about it.
You know, like, hey, as long as I'm in the conversation, I'm cool with that.
You feel that same way?
Yeah. I mean, man, because no one's going to agree. We're never going to get a final answer on this.
No,
you know what I mean?
And no answer's right or wrong. Yeah, it's just whatever's right in your heart and your mind. But hey, nobody at the table disagreed with the names on that list. Okay,
then we good. So can we all agree at least Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan are top 3?
I don't know enough about it to even claim that. I just know that
I appreciate
Kobe's
them
my
all.
guy.
All right, since you're still playing, I won't let you in on this. Can you agree that that's a good top 3?
For sure.
Or no?
Yeah.
No, he wants to say something.
I was like,
listen, he wants to say something.
Everyone's got their own style. No, I was just
who's in your top 3 then for NBA
who's
all
in your
time?
top 3 dunk contest winners?
No. I want to know top 3. No, screw that. No.
Mac, Vince Carter, Jordan. What?
I wouldn't put myself.
Hey, Kobe won some dunk contests too.
Kobe did too. You don't have to. You don't have to say someone who's currently playing, but not currently playing. However you want to answer it is on you. Top 3 NBA players of all time.
Let's take the dunk contest.
No, bro. I want to hear this.
Nah, I mean, everybody has their favorite players. You know what I mean?
Okay, so who's your 3 favorite players?
Kobe made the biggest impact on me personally, so that's why I love Kobe.
Got it.
I felt like I could relate to his mentality more than any other player. So it's like, and then Jordan was a little older. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what they'll be like? I would say those 3 are in my top 3 for sure, though.
Okay. What about you? Top 3 of all time for you?
Definitely Kobe Jordan.
Or top 5 if you want.
Nah, I don't. I study the individual athletes. I don't, even if I don't play the sport, I don't necessarily know the sport. I just study the individual athletes, to try to gain something to help add to my game. Yeah, I feel like that's great. Yeah, Kobe, Jordan, LeBron. I feel like that, to me, that's, I'm probably going to walk away here and think of somebody else, but yeah.
Luke, top 3 of all time?
Jordan, Kobe, and I don't know, man. I think they're alone.
Yeah, Kobe and Jordan for sure. Like, you can never guess it. But I think LeBron's fucking amazing too. Yeah, but I don't know the game well enough, so I'm not the best person to ask.
Same thing. Everybody's always going to have the same thing. Listen, Mac, I appreciate you coming through the Jackson house. Appreciate you rolling with us for the last couple of years, being a part of the movement. As you see, the chains are shinier than ever. The team's brighter. We're holding it down here, and it means the world that you are still supporting us and supporting what we're about here, which is, putting out the best product, putting out the best vibes, and making sure that everybody comes together, all for one for all. P-Rod, I appreciate you. Icon forever, still doing it at the highest level.
Thank you,
still
brother.
here putting it in for us. And Luke, I'm not even going to start with you, dude. Luke is going to Turkey next Friday to compete in the middle of the desert in an oil wrestling competition with Craig Jones against 12 of the strongest men in the world.
Let's bring back that melee.
This is another competition.
This is something really.
He's doing a side quest right now. His job is him and his boy Craig Jones, who's one of the best grapplers in the world, are going to run to Turkey for 3 days. I've been flying him overnight. They're going to go compete against the 12 strongest dudes in the Middle East in an oil wrestling competition in the middle of the desert. First one to give up.
Wait, strongest dudes or strongest fighter? Or they're not fighters.
I don't know what it is.
Just
it's
crazy.
It's a strange, weird thing, but
by themselves in the desert. Basically, last one to survive wins, and then he can hopefully make his return.
I don't even know what the point is, but Craig's convinced me that it's a good idea.
Well, we just bought his flight today.
I'm always up for a good idea.
All right.
I told him I'd buy the flight if he goes and gets me iPhone content.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right, listen, Jackson Podcast, the Jackson team, we're all here. Make sure you guys go check out the brand new Cuban 8. You see it on the boys. Plus, we got some other things coming. We appreciate you guys watching.